for this review that I have here today. Another whiskey review, another review that I've done this style of whiskey now for the last video, but it is a whiskey that I have heard as far as if you are getting into Irish whiskeys and you want to try a good one at still an affordable price, so you're not really breaking the bank or doing too much damage to your wallet. But if you're just getting into Irish whiskeys and you want to kind of try something that's a step up from Jameson, what have you, this is one to check out for sure. One of the top recommendations I've found. So I got this when I went into a different store I don't typically go into today, just to see if they maybe by the off chance had something like it, and they actually did. Cost me maybe $28, but it is the Teeling Irish whiskey, the small batch, that is distilled and bottled in Dublin, non-chill filtered, actually 46% alcohol by volume, so a little over 90 proof, which is interesting because I have not had a Irish whiskey yet that's above 80 proof, so that'll be interesting what that does. And it's also finished in rum casks. Malted barley and grain whiskey they let finish for up to 12 months in Central American rum casks. It is aged in ex-American bourbon barrels. So yeah, definitely wanted to give it a shot for sure as I continue to go through Irish whiskeys. I have not yet opened it yet, so we'll go ahead and do an actual neck pour right off of this thing and see what it's like straight out of the bottle. I'm sure it will change as it oxidizes, but yeah, this is one that I've definitely heard is a very good one to try if you have not really stepped into the Irish whiskey kind of category too much. It does have a real cork on there, small but real cork. So we'll go ahead and pour a taste of this out and see what we get with the Teeling Irish whiskey. The last one I tried, which I really liked, and it was so far my favorite Irish, was the Bushmills Black Bush, which is finished in sherry casks, Spanish sherry casks, and that was really nice. The only downsides I found with that one was it was a little thin because it was watered down to 80 proof, and I believe it was chill filtered. As far as I know, I don't know if this is triple distilled. It doesn't say anything about that on the bottle, nor did I find anything on that on their commercial website. But it is non-chill filtered, so it is supposed to retain some body that typically is not the case supposedly with Irish whiskeys. But they just sort of tout themselves as being an unconventional distillery, Irish distillery. So the color is pretty much gold, sort of rich gold color, not really too pale, but kind of a honey gold. So let's go ahead and get into the aroma on this one. And on the aroma, getting a good bit of honey, straight up, mostly honey, and a bit of that grain. This is also made with corn as well, this Irish whiskey. So apparently, typically Irish whiskey is malt, barley, and water, and occasionally they might put some other grain in or put something like corn in there as well. Maybe getting a little bit of that rum fruitiness in there. And then a floral note. It smells like your kind of standard Irish whiskey, but mostly that honey is standing out to me, and a little bit of that brightness, I suppose, from the rum casks. So let's get right into the flavor on this one. Oh yeah, and with the flavor, you really get that rum finish on the finish, really on the back end of the palate. Just some really nice. There was a Central American rum I've had that I reviewed on here before. I believe it was the Mantuana, something like that. I'm trying to remember the pronunciation of it, but it was I think a Peruvian, might have been a Peruvian rum. I'm not entirely sure. I'll put a link or something to it, but I'm getting those kind of notes on this, specifically that rum, and those notes really carry through. A really good fruitiness, sweet fruitiness from that, and also I'm getting the honey for sure. Getting a bit of the grain alcohol, the grain that's in there. Maybe a little bit of corn, but that rum really really finishes it off nicely, and it's a pretty dominating flavor as far as everything going on in this. But also get a little bit of char that I'm assuming is coming from those bourbon barrels. A little bit of oak there with that as well. Maybe a slight hint of tobacco, which I'm assuming is also the bourbon barrels. But yeah, the rum finish is really nice on that. And then a bit of almost like a vanilla, but it's sort of like a candy vanilla, like a vanilla candy of some sort. Almost like there's the Tootsie Rolls, the chocolate ones, and then I think they also have a vanilla Tootsie Roll as well. It sort of reminded me of that. I think it's just the sweet rum notes that I'm getting mixed in with that vanilla, so it's like a sweet vanilla. It's not like a bourbon oaky vanilla that you would sort of naturally get from the barrels. So it's got a nice sort of sweet vanilla note in there as well. But overall, it's not really a sweet whiskey. It has sweet notes in it, but it's not like a dessert whiskey or anything like that. The body is definitely there as well. I mean, it's like a 90 proof whiskey pretty much. If you've had Bullet or Buffalo Trace or any of those kind of bourbons that has that nice body and finish to it, it carries through on this Irish whiskey, which is, I like Irish whiskeys, but a lot of times the finish can be a little short unless you do something like finish it in sherry casks, like with the Bushmills Black Bush, or I suppose with this, which is just their standard small batch finished in rum casks. So yeah, I think finishes for this kind of style really, as far as I'm concerned, this is the second different barrel finish whiskey that I've had, and at least with the Irish whiskeys, it really seems to do it some big favors. So I would definitely want to check more of those out. Even scotches that are finished in different barrels as well, from different spirits and wines and that sort of thing. So yeah, overall, a really good Irish whiskey. I think it might have bumped aside the Bushmill Black Bush for me, mostly because of the sort of kick in ABV, which I was feeling was maybe lacking a bit with the Bushmills. But this one brings that. So I think it really bumps it aside. That, along with this, has a bit of a better finish. The Bushmills was good, but it had a bit of a drier, sort of dustier finish, if that makes any sense with that sherry. But I do really like this rum finish on this particular Irish whiskey. So if you see it, I would absolutely recommend picking it up. If you are looking into Irish whiskeys, for sure the best one I've had yet. And I also believe that they had a single grain. It wasn't single malt, but it was a single grain Irish whiskey as well with the Teeling. A little bit more expensive. This was 26, 27 before tax, so I think I got it 28, 29, and the single grain was maybe upper 30s, maybe low 40s where I saw it. But that's another option that they offer as well, I've noticed. So yeah, definitely recommend picking up the Teeling whiskey small batch Irish if you do want to explore that style a little bit more. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching.